Welcome back to My View. There's a strong legacy of leadership in Florida. So many people have flocked to the Sunshine State in recent years, myself included, and it's clear the momentum is only growing. Congressman Byron Donalds wants to be a part of that. Looking beyond his success in Washington, Congressman Donalds is running for governor in hopes of making Florida the example for education, investment, and so much more. Watch. Well, Congressman Byron Donalds, thank you so much for sitting down with us. I just want to start kind of learning a little bit about you. You grew up in Brooklyn, New York, a place that is very blue, and yet I'm sitting across from a Republican congressman. How did that happen?
That's a great question, actually. You know, we didn't really care much about politics growing up in my house. We were all registered Democrats, like my entire family was. And it really wasn't until, when I was 30, during the financial collapse of 2008, that I started paying attention to politics. The full story is I was trying to do research for my insurance company. They ordered me to do it because we had a client that was international, was concerned. And so a part of the research that I was doing, one of the things I did was turn on the House Financial Services Committee here in Congress.
Oh.
I've never watched a congressional committee in my life. I didn't care about politics. And frankly, I just got pissed off because the members were talking about our economy and they didn't know what they were talking about. And so I knew what was happening in the economy and why it was failing at the time. And I never got those answers from Capitol Hill.
Is that what encouraged you ultimately to get into politics? Because I don't have to tell you, it is a tough business. It is not for the faint of heart, not for the thin skin. Is that what kind of spurred your interest in politics?
I started reading about political philosophy, and I got kind of on that train by this guy named Mark Levin, who's one of your compatriots on
we love Mark Levin.
Saturday evening. And I started reading about the framers of our Constitution, John Locke, Montesquieu. And so as I started reading these things, I realized that I was actually quite conservative.
You were also raised by a single mother. How did that impact your life and who you became?
My mom is a grinder, hard worker, no excuses. For her, education was everything. She was a school choice mom before school choice was a thing. She gambled on me and my education. She didn't want to just leave me to the public schools. We struggled at times when I was at home, but for her, there was always the possibility to excel, to achieve, and to really escape the hood, escape the inner city and make something of yourself. And that was her dream for me.
And I'm sure she's proud of you. We are so proud to have you represent the state of Florida. And you recently announced that you want to do more for the state of Florida. You have announced your intent to run for governor of the state of Florida. Why was now the time to do that for you?
I came to Florida when I was 17 years old. I was afraid to fly at the time. We got on a Greyhound bus.
Wow.
From Port Authority, Midtown Manhattan, to the bus depot in Tallahassee, Florida.
That's a long drive.
24 hours.
Wow.
Oh, trust me. So I just had my trunk full of clothes, got to Tallahassee, Florida, and everything in my life was really built in Florida. My foundation is New York, and the grinding aspects, being able to be discerning of people coming across you, that's a New York thing that's just never going away. That's a Brooklyn thing.
It's the street smarts.
100%.
Yeah.
But I built everything in Florida. And Florida is where I matured. And Florida is where I met my wife. It's where my kids were born and they grew up. It's where I became a coach. It's where I became a youth leader. It's where I built my career. It's where I found politics. So now to come back and running to become the next governor is really about making sure that Florida, which is the best state in the country, continues to be the best state in the country.
You got a pretty coveted endorsement
Yeah.
from President Trump, who called you a total winner in all caps, Congressman. What impact does that have? What does that mean to you to have the support of President Trump?
It's really an honor more than anything. Obviously, it's the most coveted endorsement in politics for obvious reasons, because the president just doesn't lose. He wins a lot. And so to have his endorsement means everything. I think it demonstrates the hard work that has gone on in my life from when I was 30 till now at 46 years old. It demonstrates really that he respected my commitment to making sure that not just we're going to make America great again, but wanting to do everything possible to lead the state of Florida. And I'm really just honored, and I'm not going to let him down.
In fact, the only direction Congressman Donalds is going is up.
Welcome to the 7th floor Longworth balcony.
This is amazing, and this is your view every day. The first time, though, after you were elected to represent your constituents in Florida.
Yeah.
And you came up and you sat for the first time in your office in D.C. Could you believe that you were even here? I feel like that must have been an amazing moment.
It was wow.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
Yeah.
Actually, we have a challenge coin in Latin. We wrote inscribed in Latin, started from the bottom.
Oh, there's a song that goes along with that.
Yeah, there's a song with it. There's a song with it. But that's what we wrote in it, because you get here and you're like, this really happened.
Yeah.
I still remember primary night. I don't think I've ever shouted so loud just at victory, because it was a tight race. We won by 774 votes in a primary of 100,000 votes.
Wow.
So to get here and sometimes it's still in awe. I'll look at the Capitol building and be like, it's the office.
But Congressman Donalds is willing to forego the view for a chance to keep Florida moving forward. Florida really, has been booming over the past several years. There was such movement down to Florida during the pandemic. And I'm one of those people. I moved down there and I stayed because it is a great state. It's a great place to live. What is your vision for the future of Florida?
We're one of the best states, if not the best state in the country when it comes to business. Let's take that to the next level. I believe Florida is going to be the financial capital of the world, but let's be intentional about that. I want to see a crypto exchange opened in Florida. It's about having corporations decide, you know what, we're going there because it's the best state to operate. It's the best state to incorporate in. Secondarily, insurance. We got to fix it. The prices have been going up in insurance. It's very tough. Everybody's got to be at the table about what the reforms are going to be. And then the last piece is education. Now, we lead the country when it comes to school choice. We do that now. Now it's about making sure every child becomes proficient in math and reading. Most of our kids are at grade level. I want our kids to be focused on proficiency, on mastery, so that they have the opportunity to really excel academically. That really means so much, not just for their lives and for their future families, but for the future of Florida, not just as an economic engine, but as a leader to the other 49 states of how you organize state government.
You said that your mom was school choice before school choice was even a thing. That's a big deal.
Absolutely. When I was in the legislature, I passed what at the time was the largest expansion in school choice. It was called the Hope Scholarship. And this is what went to kids who were being abused in public schools, beat up, abused, battery, whatever the case might be. It gave their parents an ability to find another school that sought their abilities, where they felt safe, because you can't even begin to learn if you don't feel safe. We're going to continue to fine tune it in every single way so that parents have every ability for their child to find that place. You were very complimentary of Governor DeSantis, but how would a Byron Donalds administration differ from a Ron DeSantis administration? Governor DeSantis has done a tremendous job. I think with me, it's a little different. I think, first of all, we saw some of the stuff in the legislature, and I don't really want to get too deep in it. But I think that, one, it's setting the example of how we're going to have the cordial conversations that are necessary. Number two, I think the biggest thing is you just want to take what we've done and really help other states get there. I want Florida to be the best, not just simply because I want Florida to be the best. This is what I joked with my friend Vivek Ramaswamy about that, because he's saying he wants Ohio to be the best. And I said, well, that's great and all, but you still can be number two.
I like Florida, the competition between states. This is good.
Florida's going to be the number one. But I think you take the Florida model and you help other states realize what they can accomplish, working with other governors to get that done. But I got to tell you, it's very difficult to follow a great governor. What do you say to people who are going to sling mud your way over the course of this run for governor? The first thing is, I'm not going to be intimidated. I know what I've done wrong in my life. Like, look, when I was 17 years old, 18 years old, I was arrested for marijuana possession. I was. When I was 20 years old, I pled no contest to theft in Florida. I did that. I made a lot of mistakes when I was young. But, when I was a youth leader, we would tell the children in the youth group that when you mess up, you make up, but you never give up. And I never gave up on myself. So to people who want to dig up dirt and throw it at me, I say, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be right here. And I think that if you can go through life being better than you were the day before, then nobody can do anything to you. Well, thank you for taking the time to sit down with us. Good luck with everything. You have been a shining star in the Republican Party, and we're looking forward to see what you have in store for Florida. So thank you. Thank you.